Got it bumping. Hello, everybody. How's it going? All right, who's all in here? Bufo, I see you were the first one today. Alan Campos, Tiger Backwoods, my favorite name. Holy. Chris Kane, Kenneth Felders, Trevon the Quintillion. What's up? Cloud9, 8th Life. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? All right, so got some announcements. Well, one announcement. So don't forget, you can join the new BeatStars Discord to chat with other members of the community, find collaborators, and more. The link to join can be found here. Awesome. All right, well, welcome back to The Deal. I'm Tia. I'm the Music Opportunities Manager here at BeatStars. If you're new to The Deal, we're highlighting our BeatStars Publishing roster. BeatStars Publishing is a partnership between BeatStars and Sony Music Publishing, who are the #1 global music publisher in the world. If you're interested in finding out more information, including how you can sign up for BeatStars Publishing, you could head over to beatstars.com/publishing. And don't forget to follow at BeatStars Publishing on Instagram for some free industry game and to get better acquainted with some of our talented producers on our roster. This week, we're hanging out with NoLimitShawn and Ryini, but if you want to rewatch this interview, you can check it out later alongside all of our past shows and BeatStars content, including tutorials on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/official BeatStars. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, subscribe to be notified of new uploads. Whew. I say that script every 2 weeks and I'm out of breath every single time. You think I would have been trained by now. All right, but without further ado, let's bring in the folks of the hour. NoLimitShawn Ryini. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How's it going? Everybody say hi to these lovely producers. Lovely producers, say hi to the chat.
Welcome, everybody.
I don't know who wants to start first, but I would love to know who you are, where you're from, and what kind of music you make. So, Ryini, I'm going to go with you. Go ahead.
Well, I'm Sean. I'm from Houston, Texas. 20 years old. I've been producing for about 5 years now. And I produce and engineer.
Fire. Ryini, what about you?
Yeah, so my name is Ryan, also known as Ryini Beats. Been producing since I was probably in like high school or 8th grade or so. So it's been like 15 years at least. And well, was there any other question to that? What else was there, Tia?
Who you are, where you're from, and what kind of music you make.
Oh, yeah. I get confused on the genres. So I'm kind of that genre blending dude. So I combine all these genres and stuff like that. But I would say mainly hip hop, trap, R&B combined with like a rock country influence. I'm all over that area.
I was going through some of your credits and I'm like, this is kind of interesting. But we'll talk about that later. I would love to know what your guys' earliest memory of music was. And pardon me while I mute my phone. Shawn, you can go first.
Earliest memory, man, basically, I want to say I was about 7. Drums. I was playing the drums with my dad. That's really how I got to doing music, and then I really didn't start getting on FL till I was about like 15 when I first got a computer.
Wait, so is your father is a musician?
He plays the drums. He did keyboard for church, organs. He had a band, the Right Touch Band. I want to believe they still be performing shows everywhere around America.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fair. So it's just kind of it's been very much around you. So you've been heavily influenced basically from a young age.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? What was your earliest memory?
Do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys, like in elementary school, they would put all the kids together and make them sing. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. That was probably one of my first embarrassing memories, just like being forced to sing and then having your parents like, oh yeah, look at him, he's doing his thing. And then probably I would say when like Christmas time, I think I was like 6 or 7. I was really young. They got me a gift. They got me the Smash Mouth CD. And I was kind of embarrassed because I was like, Smash Mouth? I was like, what is this? My older brother got like Limp Bizkit. It was like some hard stuff. I was like, man. But like I actually loved it. So it was cool. That's probably my first introduction to music.
I love that. Listen, don't hate on the Smash Brothers, okay?
Hey,
How
man.
you exactly? No, I was
It came true. It came true.
It did. Honestly, I was like, I'm trying to remember how old I was. I guess you guys would have like mixed CDs from other like stations, but here we have something called YTV, which was basically like our I guess like our Nickelodeon kinda, and they would do all these compilation CDs, and All Star was like the first track of one on Big Fun Party Mix. So I'd be in my living room just like making dances and stuff, trying to get it together. How did you guys? Let me see. So you guys started your music journey fairly early, but how did you know that you wanted to take it seriously as a career, or what was the turning point for you? And the second part of that question is, how did you end up finding BeatStars?
I want to say one night I was listening to Ugly God. I don't know if y'all know who Ugly God is.
Yes,
I was listening to Ugly God, and it was crazy how like he's just bold and he do everything. Like he make his own beats, he rap, he write his own music. Like I was like, dang, that's live. So I heard a beat and I was like, man, I'm finna figure out what he doing. Like I'm about to go just research it. So I seen he was using FL and I went and cracked FL. Man, I don't even want to. I can't even speak on that, but I went and cracked FL at a young age. Started making beats. I taught myself. Yeah, that's what.
How did you teach yourself? What were your resources at the time? And I ask because there's a lot of folks who are looking to get started but just don't know any key. Obviously, you could use YouTube. I'm assuming is what you did, but
Yeah. I want to say I really researched everything on YouTube, and then I went as I go. Like as soon as I downloaded FL, I went and I started making beats. I started learning the patterns. I used to watch Internet Money too. Internet Money is they're a good platform to watch. And then that's how I figured. I seen BeatStars. I started seeing a lot of their people on BeatStars. So I basically just started uploading in.
And the rest is history. Ryan, what about you? How did you know that you wanted to build a career, and when did you start using BeatStars?
Well, when I got started with music, I didn't really have a plan on making it a career, but it got to that point where I was doing music and I was just starting off on YouTube, and I was also coaching. So I do springboard diving. I also coached high schools, college, and stuff like that. And I ran into a sort of a turning point where basically a lot of stuff happened at the college. And one day I thought I was coming in for a meeting, but I found out I lost my job. So I was like, man, a part of me was devastated, but a part of me was excited. I was like, oh, I already know what I'm going to do. Like I was very confident about it. And I came to the realization that I either had to become like a substitute teacher or go back to school to become a teacher because I had a degree in English, or I had to make something happen with the YouTube and with the BeatStars and just start blowing up. So I think it was that all or nothing, that you got to make something happen now or else you're kind of going to be stuck with regret. So luckily I went all in and it kind of worked out.
Wow. Okay, let's lean into that a little bit. I want to talk about that betting on yourself moment. Like what part of you, or why did you think you just knew what your pivot was going to be?
I knew the potential of YouTube when I first got lucky. I blew up on YouTube because I was doing covers. Somebody gave me some advice. They told me, they're like, when you first start off, you can't make unique stuff. You got to start off by giving people what they want, and then you can start moving away from it. So I started learning by doing covers. So I would cover like Bruno Mars, Calvin Harris. And I would just literally, I would hear their song on the radio that it just dropped. And then I would go home and I would like race to recreate the instrumental, and I would post it on YouTube. And I kind of got into trouble because I would post it as like the official instrumental. And then I got a couple of copyright strikes. So I learned not to do that. But before that happened, I got lucky because Calvin Harris did a song called My Way. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but I redid that song. And right when I redid it, he, for some reason, took his down because they were making a music video. And then my official instrumental went to the top. So all these people were searching for it. And I got like 1 million views in like a week.
Holy.
And then I got a copyright strike. I made my first like $100. But at that point, I was like, man, I know it's possible. Like, I'm going to make this stuff happen. And it took a couple years to get back to those same numbers, but I eventually set that goal, and I did once I knew like it was possible.
I think that is so incredible, and I just love hearing the stories of people just like taking their chances. Cloud9 is actually in the chat. Same situation, job furloughed me for almost ever during the pandemic, and I just went all in. It was all or nothing, but now thanks to that, that and BeatStars on full time. And if you guys ever get the chance to connect with Cloud9, which I highly recommend, he is just like, he's just really made it happen for himself. So I get excited when I hear these like one-off stories of these smaller successes that just like snowball into you guys like really just honing in on your craft. So let's talk about how you get yourself out there, which is my favorite topic. Like, what are some of your guys' favorite ways to connect with artists or other producers? Like, what does it take for you guys? I'll start with Shawn.
Well, I want to say me engineering got me in a room with a lot of different artists.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say learning engineering is very important as a producer because it could get you a lot of opportunities. Like, it opened a lot of doors for you. And that's really how I got most of my placements, through engineering.
Sorry, I was get my mute button. But so with your engineering, how have you been able to pivot that into being like, oh yeah, by the way, I also produce, like get on my beats? What are those conversations look like for you?
Yeah, for real.
Well, I do want to say this. I don't really tell them I make beats. They'll be like, pull up a beat, and then I just start playing my beats. And they'll be surprised. They'll be like, "Oh, snap! Like, you make beats?" I'll be like, "Yeah." And then that's when they really be. It'd be more interesting when they don't know for real. Like, it catch them by surprise. Like I know most engineers nowadays, they probably do make beats, but they used to didn't. Like, you can't really find engineers who really making beats nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting like way to pivot with your experience. I've talked to a very small handful of folks that I've been able to speak to on this show also have the ability to engineer, and we always talk about, offering what you're offering to, especially when you get in situations when you're with like quote unquote bigger artists or whatever. So I think that's really great that you've been able to kind of lean into both of those skills and also just build that organically and get people interested. What about you, Ryini? How do you get yourself out there? How do you collaborate with other producers or artists?
Well, first I want to say, man, Shawn, I'm jealous of what you're doing. Like that's a lot of pressure for me to have an artist roll up, like, and they just expect me to put something together. And it's difficult for me because I'm more of an instrumentalist. So like, they're like, oh, where the beats at? I'm like, I pull out the guitar. They're like, what is this dude doing? But in terms of meeting new people, it's been a lot through just kind of focusing on growing organically online and then having them come to me. We have done some things where we try to message certain people, and I guess as I'm getting bigger, it makes it a little bit easier, but it's really hard to just like start reaching out to like these big people. but yeah, that's mainly it for me. Just building momentum online and then letting people become attracted to what you're doing, and then hopefully reach out to me at that point, which it's happened a few times.
Okay, so I'm going to pro you a little further. What does setting yourself up online look like? What are some of your key tips and tricks? Like, are you tagging certain ways? Are you following certain type beat trends? Like, what does that look like for you?
I have a lot of weird YouTube strategies that I've learned from just watching what people are doing and looking for things that seem unusual. Like I started blowing up with the acoustic guitar type beats, and I knew I was going to blow up when I saw something. And what I saw this guitar type beat or guitar instrumental, and I clicked on it. It had like 300,000 or 500,000 views. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is when I was like, I didn't have many views at all. And I looked at the comments, and this dude said, yo, what the heck? This is just a loop from Mixcraft, or like, it was basically just a free loop from one of the DAWs. He literally just posted it on YouTube and like as a full beat, and it just started blowing up. I was like, if this dude can just take some fake guitar sample and blow up with it, I was like, I'm set. Like I'm nothing to worry about. But there are a lot of other strategies. Like for me, I like to use keywords as my beat title. So like sometimes that allows me to put more keywords in my title. I also use genres sometimes as the beat title itself. So I do like weird things to reach out to more audiences. And I feel like when you combine genres, it also helps you to reach out and also to stand out in those lanes.
I agree. You guys in the chat are probably so sick of me saying this, but even just from like the BeatStars standpoint, I'm such a big fan of this idea of like tagging an artist name, tagging a genre, tagging, not tagging, but entering like your metadata, like your BPM and your key and all of these things, because it really does help people find what they're looking for. I know some folks are just not a fan of like the type beat era or whatever that looks like for them, but it's really just about beating out everybody else who's uploading the same stuff. Shawn, how do you put your beats out there?
YouTube. I upload my beats on YouTube. I tag like the artists I'm working with. I tag their names. I make type beats with their names in it, and I have my friends repost my beats on their page and really tell people to just look at my links.
I think that's an interesting strategy. Do your friends have like any sort of large following at all that they're able to reshare and garner that traffic for you?
Yeah, most of my friends, they got over like 10K followers, over 5K, and they active too. Like they'll keep commenting on each post I post. Like they consistent, so they be organic.
That's an interesting thing. I don't think I've ever heard anybody use their own friendships to get their beats out there, but I think it's pretty spectacular that you have that crew of people that can support you that way. And I guess that's just like network sharing at the end of the day, because I'm sure there's plenty of ways that you help them in reverse. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the placements you have or some of your most fun, collaborative experiences, whether that be with artists or another producer. I want to hear the wildest or the best story that you could possibly give us today. And I'll start with Ryan.
I mean, I don't have anything that wild, but the homie Seth Anthony, this is an artist that I've recently been working with, and he's blowing up in the country rap area, but he's starting to sing more. And he's like, yo, we got to put together this album. He's like, I'm going to roll up to your place. And yeah, he rolled up to LA and brought me a bottle. And he was just like distraught. He came in, he's like, man, what's going on in LA? Like, they wouldn't let me in the bars. Like, he was all heated. Like, he's like, I need to get out of here. Just I guess because of the whole COVID lockdown and everything, he just wasn't feeling it. And as a country dude, I guess that he felt like people were looking at him weird and stuff like that. But yeah, we got in the studio and we came up with some good stuff. So it's probably not the most exciting thing because the project hasn't dropped yet. But once it drops, you guys are going to be like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Well, I guess just to that conversation of like the country rap stuff. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's talk a little bit about Kid G, because you have a couple of solid placements with this guy, and he has millions of streams. So I would really love to know how that relationship came to be.
BeatStars, YouTube, just
Wow.
basically, I'm assuming he found me. I don't know exactly the story. Sometimes artists will tell you like, yo, I did this and this is how I found you. I'm not particularly sure how he found me, but yeah, it was just through YouTube, and then it was just out of nowhere. Like, I basically found out that he's like, oh yeah, we dropped Dirt Road and that song blew up, and he's like, oh, you produced it, and we negotiated the deal and we went from there. So ever since that happened, then I've been trying to send him more beats and stuff like that.
That's awesome. And honestly, like, again, just that the power of the internet, you never know who's looking and who's going to find you. I think it's super dope. What about you, Shawn? What's like your craziest or most favorite placement or collaborative story that you could share?
I want to say getting in the studio with YoungBoy. That was like the wildest thing ever. I woke up one morning and it was like, it's crazy because I was talking to my homeboy about getting in the studio with him. And then it just so happened, like the next morning, my boss man, he hit me. He was like, "Can I get to the studio quick, like by myself?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I can get there." So I get there, and I didn't know YoungBoy was coming. I didn't know none of this at all. So as I'm sitting in the studio, they pull up, and I'm like, "Oh snap! This YoungBoy, like, I'm like, this wild." So I'm basically like, I'm just ready to work. And when he came in, he was like, he didn't know who I was. He only knew who the head engineer was. But he didn't know that I knew how to record and everything yet. So he was like, nah, I don't want him in here. He was like, what he do? And I was like, nah, I'm cool. I engineer. I make beats and everything. And so after I told him that, he was like, I want you to record me. And I was like, all right, bet. And then when we got in the studio, I played the beats. He was messing with me.
Damn, so he blatantly said, like, right in front of your face, like, I don't want him here.
Yeah, it's like he was like, get him out of here. Like, he
didn't know. Walk away, man, but you didn't.
I didn't walk away because I was like, man, I work here. Like,
like
oh, for real, huh?
No, that's really crazy, and I think that's awesome that you were like, I'm not leaving. Like, what? I'm about to work. So now you have a bunch of records with an artist on his label named P Youngin. So how did you go from that session to working with P Youngin, or did that happen?
Man, P Youngin, I worked with P Youngin before YoungBoy. I want to say in September or November we started recording, and it was cool because he young and talented. I'm gonna be honest, like he got a good sound, like for a 15-year-old. And his work ethic crazy. It's just like YoungBoy. It's like he remind me of him. Like when I met YoungBoy, like it's crazy.
That's so wild. So of all the tracks you've got with him, because you got a handful, what has been the most fun or most memorable session that you've had with him so far?
P Young, I want to say the Did Me Wrong session. That session was in December last year. The song is getting released on the 19th this week.
Fire.
I want to say Friday. Yeah.
Love that Sorry?
I want to say I'm on the Never Broke Again comp album this Friday. Track 3.
Ooh. That's fire. Congratulations in advance. I'm very, very excited for you. And I think it's awesome that between the two of you, just looking at the credits that you did provide me, it's nice to see like repeat names. And I always lean into this conversation of just like building a relationship with artists. So for you guys, when you're looking to work with artists, let's talk from scratch. Let's never mind like the big names. If it's someone that you want to build with and you're like, yeah, I'm going to start dedicating my time and putting my time into this, what do you look for in an artist when you're working with them?
I want to say their work ethic and, man, just work ethic really, because you could turn bad into good. Like there's never nothing wrong with something bad, because there's always a solution. So the more you work, I feel like the more you're gonna grow as an artist. So it's better when, like, I got my own artist, Lil Payne. I don't know if you see him in my credits, but I just met him in high school, and we've been working ever since. Like I've been seeing him grow as an artist. His streams been going up. Just everything been his work ethic. It's crazy.
That's so beautiful. And I'm gonna keep leaning into the fact that I get excited that people just have long-standing relationships with people. But what is it about your guys' synergy that you think works the most? How are you guys bouncing off each other in studios, or when you send him beats? Like, you just know what he wants, he knows how to talk. Like, what is it?
Man, we get in the studio. It's like he hop on anything. He could hop on any beat. It's like it's crazy. Like, I could play whatever. He gonna hop on it, and he gonna make it a good song, like a great song.
I love that. What about you, Ryan? Like, what do you look for when you're working with an artist?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as Shawn said, but I would say a competitor. So I see so many people, they can do something, like they could get some momentum, but in order to keep that up, you got to be able to compete. You got to be able to come back and show that consistency. And I feel like that's what you learn in playing sports, and just having that kind of drive that you're going to be able to continue it, and that it's not just a fluke or a one-time thing, that you could keep making hits, that you could keep making songs. And also, I'm looking for artists that a lot of times they start off with like nothing and they expect me to like personally start sending them beats all the time. I'm looking for them to like build a little bit of momentum, something to show me something before I start spending my personal time on it. So, before it probably wasn't like that, but just where I'm at now, I like to see them put in some dedication first.
Yeah, for sure. Those situations are give and take, because really nobody is making any bread until the music is out, basically. I would love to know, what is one thing you guys wish you knew when you started producing that you were able to learn now? And think of it from a perspective of like you're talking to somebody who's just starting out.
Man, the business side of music. That is very important. As I recommend, if y'all go get that book, I want to say it's called Music Business for Dummies or something.
Okay.
It's something like that, but I recommend reading the book on business, music business.
The one that we always talk about is Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business.
Yeah, that one too.
Thick one. Yeah.
That one has, man, that's a gem. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a gem right there. That book is a gem. I recommend reading it.
Okay, of all the stuff that you learned about the business so far, what's one thing that shocked you the most, or that you found most useful from what you've learned?
Royalties.
Okay.
Royalties for sure.
Yeah.
I learned that you could collect on multiple ends. Like you get royalties for performance, mechanical, sync. Like it's crazy. You pay forever, basically. Like when you're doing music, like it's like you pay forever. You protect it. Like,
you definitely have to explore all those channels for sure. Thank you for that. What about you, Ryan?
I would say learning an instrument is really important. Maybe not for everybody, but even if you think that it's not important, like you said, Shawn, you started with the drums. You probably wouldn't be able to program or hit the drum pad the same way, because like you learn, okay, well, the kick goes here, snare goes here. Here are the different things I could do with two hands. And then it also reminds you like, oh, I don't want to overdo the beat because I don't have 6 hands, right? I'm not going to be hitting like all these cymbals at once. And then the keyboard, right? You need the keyboard to do different stuff, and then other instruments as well. So I feel like it's hugely important, especially in the era of content ID, where people like, I'm all for samples, but when you rely on them too much, you run into limitations. You start running into claims with other producers. Like you drop a beat and then the sample is from somebody else, so they're getting your royalties, they're getting credited, and it makes it hard to collect content ID, and it makes things more complicated overall. So that's why I like to just combine. I like samples, but also like using my own instruments as well. So I find that important.
I think that's a great piece of advice, and probably something that, I mean, you guys in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever heard anyone say, yeah, go learn an instrument. And a lot of production today is very much digital, which is completely fine. But I think that you're right. It gives you like that little extra like push or support. So another question that I have is, can you share a time where you had to overcome something that like was difficult? Maybe a song didn't come out and you thought it was going to come out, or someone canceled on a big session. Anything that you could think of. Shawn is already stressed over there. I know you have a story, but but let me know what that was and what you learned from it or how you overcame it. And I'm going to let Shawn go first because I need to know what that stress was about.
All right. I want to say talking about placements before they come out. That's one thing that's stressful. It could mess up business, really. It messes up with the business and everything because it could slow a song dropping down. Like I done got into a situation with that before, and I don't ever want to go through that again. So it sucks.
It's not out till it's out.
Yeah.
That's the rule, and it's not finalized till the ink is dry. Like
I really want to say until you sign until you sign your contract, that's when I say it's an official placement after you sign your contract. But other than that, yeah, just keep quiet about it.
So what were you doing? You were posting about it everywhere, and then it was like,
okay, man.
Don't name names. Don't do that.
We're gonna dig in the deeper hole. Huh?
I posted about it. I posted about one of my placements that I wasn't supposed to post about. So I learned from that mistake. I'm young.
That's all right.
I'm glad.
Did they tell you though? Like, did they tell you about that you weren't supposed to say anything, or was it like in the contract or something? Like, because how do you even know? Because aren't you supporting them by talking about it? Like, you must have said something.
Sometimes the artists will be like, don't tell nobody, like, don't let nobody hear the song, and don't play it for nobody. But sometimes, man, time went by. It was time went by. That's what made me just place a little bit. Like I was tripping. I'm not gonna ever do that again, though. It's never gonna happen again.
We've learned our lesson, and I love that for you. At least you learned it early. More to come. You're fine. Everything's gonna be okay. What about you, Ryan? What's a hard lesson that you learned, and how'd you overcome it?
I would say, it's cool once you blow up and things are going good, but when things start going the other way, that's a difficult time. Like I know that my YouTube views at some point were a little bit higher than they were now, and then they started dropping down fast. Like YouTube, all the suggested, they basically just stopped suggesting me out of nowhere. Like it just plummeted. I was like, dang. And I think that was the hard thing is thinking that, oh, like I had it, but I lost it. And then just having to realize that, no, I can still build this back up. I just need to work harder. I need to make better beats. And it really just comes down to that. Like, it really just comes down to, are you able to make a really good beat? And I think I was heavily trying to see what worked, and I was trying to copy and create the same kind of beats, but I had to like find some new waves or new terms. So I think that was the hardest thing, to just bounce back after I thought that, hey, maybe music production isn't a long-term thing for me. But the longer I'm here, the more I start to feel like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when you're using things like YouTube or Instagram, like you are always up against their system or algorithm changes. Like they're looking at it from a space where like they want people to spend money advertising or like whatever the case may be. So they're always moving the goalpost a little bit, but I'm glad that you've more or less stuck by everything and just kept it going. What do you guys want for your careers next? Like, what is the ultimate goal? What does a successful career look like for you? I'll start with Shawn.
I really want a Grammy. I want a Grammy bad. I don't know. I want a Grammy. I want a record that'll change the world. Like, just change the sound. I want a very big record. And then I want a DJ on tour. I want a tour DJ.
That would be fire. I mean, it sounds like your manifestation powers are already working based on the fact that you mentioned wanting to work with YoungBoy and then the next day it happened. So just keep saying it and it's on the way. I believe that for real. What about you, Ryan?
I'd probably say exactly what Sean said, but the opposite. Like, I'm kind of nervous of all that stuff happening. Like, shoot, what happens when you blow up and like everybody wants you to like show up and now you're on stage and now like you got all this pressure. Like, that kind of stuff scares me. Like, for me, I just want to keep doing my thing, building momentum online, and then just slowly working my way into it. And I'm also hoping though as well that these artists, someone just like either gets lucky or just makes some really great hit that's just like that I could be proud of and that everybody knows about. That'd be cool as well.
For sure. I think you have to kind of look at it from both scenarios where it's just like you are where you are right now and how can you make the absolute best of that, and also having those like long-term big goals for yourself that you can keep inching towards. So I'm wishing the best of you, or the both of you, the best of luck in attaining those things. My last question before we start shifting into playing some of your music is, why did you guys sign with BeatStars? What made you want to call this place home? Neither of you can go first.
But shit, I seen the roster. I seen how y'all work with people. I seen y'all help people basically get paid. Like y'all offer a lot of opportunities too. Like with the sync license with the sync placements.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all offer opportunities for shit, everything really. Y'all open a lot of doors for me.
Yes,
I'm thankful for BeatStars. I'm thankful.
We're lucky to have you. I'm glad that you feel that way. What about you, Ryan? What brought you to BeatStars in terms of signing with BeatStars Publishing?
Well, first thing I would say is Sean, how long have you been on BeatStars? I'm just wondering.
Now, I only been on BeatStars for about, I want to say 4 months.
Okay, so yeah, you're still pretty new. And I think the thing I want to point out is that the decision is getting so much more and more obvious. Like when I was determining, I'm thinking it was back in 2016 or 2017. This is back when Airbit was actually a consideration. So I did my research and I was like, man, should I go with Airbit or should I go with BeatStars? And I was just looking at these different videos and it just I don't know. For some reason, I just figured that BeatStars would be the better bet. And I'm so glad I did, because since then, like I've seen all the people that made the decision of Airbit. Like I love Airbit. Like they're great and everything. And they do the content ID for me right now. But I'm just looking at the marketplace. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the sales and the people that went with Airbit. And I forget which website it is, but they show the different traffic now for the different beat stores. And like just looking at the BeatStars traffic in comparison, like I don't see any other beat platform that has even 10% of what BeatStars is doing. So it's just like, and then you talk about the marketplace, and look, I'm doing millions of views on YouTube, and I'm still getting more traffic from the BeatStars marketplace, right? From their app, from the different apps. Like they have all this stuff like that you wouldn't even know about. So I think I just got lucky. I would just say that, but yeah.
I was gonna say, keep going, keep gassing us up. Like I love to hear it, but I'm really glad that you see the value in being with us, and I think it's even more so a testament just to know that we're trusted within like the music community as far as providing to people who are looking for music, but also setting up shop for folks who are trying to get their music out there. So we're blessed to have you both. On that note, let's get into some of the beats. Guys in the chat, I hope everybody's awake and paying attention, because I hate when I ask this and then I get no comments. But of the two gentlemen on the screen, who do you guys want to hear beats from first? And first to 3 names of the same name, I will play first. Unless you guys just want to like rock, paper, scissors it out. We can also do that. Let's see. Sean. We got one for Sean. Okay, now Tiger back with King. I have to ask, is your name NoLimitShawn Ryini? Because you're asking right now. I'm confused.
What you got in that backwood, Tiger?
Bufo said I'll have to make you guys virtually arm wrestle for it.
That'd be interesting, huh?
Okay, so one for Shawn, one for Ryini. Come on. You know what? Oh, okay. All right. It all came in. Shawn, you're up.
Funny, man.
You're on deck, buddy.
The chat funny.
Pardon?
I said the chat funny.
Listen, these guys be giving me all kinds of hell every week, and I don't understand why. All right. What do you want to start with?
Falling. Falling is probably my favorite beat I made this year.
Fire. All right, so we're gonna play about a minute of every track. Sometimes I run over because I get lost in the beat, but we'll play 1 minute of every track. You guys in the chat, rate it out of 5 emotes, whatever you feel. Let us know who you hear on the track. Let's go.
NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit.
Man, that melody.
You're a nice little like emotional, like give me a vibe.
They say it's a wake up, get in the morning type beat.
What do you want to play next?
We could probably do Cast 100K. That's what, I don't know why I named that beat that, but Cast 100K.
NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit. NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit. NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit.
Okay, so you just made a beat sale in the comment section here, Shawn. I don't know if you know this person, but if not, you could head over to his beat store.
Facts. Come shop.
Come shop. We got Cloud9 said 21 type beat fire. 4 boot emotes from Low Wave, so 4 out of 5. Bufo said Little Dicky type joint. We got some love in the chat for you, and I love that for you. All right.
Wranglers could be next.
Sorry, what? Oh, Wranglers.
Yeah.
NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit.
Cole know he go crazy.
More NBA Youngboy vibes for sure. Somebody's asking in the chat where you can submit. Unfortunately, this is not on the list, y'all, but that will be on Friday. So if you want to submit to have your beats played, same time, same place next, or not next, but this coming Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Just so everybody knows. Low Wave said, loving the mellow piano vibe. So me too.
I say Radical next.
NoLimitShawn, you passed the limit. No, Sean, you passed the limit. No, Sean, you passed the limit.
I let that one roll.
I'm trying to get cap on that right now. I'm trying to get no cap on that.
Low Wave said a whole vibe. Eighth Place said this one's a vibe. Money 713 Mafia, who's been in the chat with you the whole time, said this is a sit back and tap the mic one time vibe. All right. And your last but not least beat appreciation. Ready?
No, Sean, you passed the limit. No, Sean, you passed the No, Sean, you passed the limit.
Also let that one run over because everyone was going after that. All these emojis that Lil Wave had dropped, all the Tim boots. G Circle said this is the best beat so far. And Money 713 Mafia said, can't lie, he's got crazy talent, and to see where he came from, to hear man No Limit Sean for the win. Where did Sean go? Sir, this is your interview. Where'd you go? You're on mute.
I'm sorry, my bad.
You're fine. Just playing. Thank you for sharing. I had tagged your beat store and everything. I'm gonna put it right here for like the next couple seconds. Wow.
Yeah, I appreciate the love, y'all. Guys, come shop.
Come shop. Hashtag come shop. Put that on the shirt.
That's probably my next idea right there.
There you go.
Come shop.
I want 1% of all the sales. I'm just kidding. All right, Ryan. It's your turn. where would you like to start? And you're on mute.
Up and just work your way down. So we can start with European and then go into trap metal.
All right.
There's a big variety, so just a heads up.
Ooh, we love variety. It's like what are those chips called? Munchies? Do you guys have that in the US? Munchies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
They got the cheesy one and the hot one.
Oh, we don't have the hot one.
You don't have the hot munchies ones?
Listen, I think we got hot Cheetos here like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years max. Like we're new to that side of the chip game.
Ooh.
Just patience. All right, let's start.
Here we go.
So smooth.
Thank you.
That's a vibe.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I feel like we could probably do some good work. I see you do got some guitar beats, and you got some hard drums. I'm really feeling it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm about to get you on Instagram. My bad.
No, I love when this happens. This right here is my favorite part, when you guys are both feeling each other's music and you're like, let's work. Love it. Chef's kiss. Please, and send us whatever beat you guys end up putting together. All right, next. You said just go down?
Yeah.
All
Go to
right.
trap metal. This one's a little crazy.
All right, let's do it.
This is Ryini Beats. This is Ryini Beats.
I really wanted to let that run, but I cannot because we don't have that much time. But all the instrumentation is you?
Yeah, I do all the guitars.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit crazy. That shit be crazy.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Money 713 Mafia. Can I just call you Money? Money Mafia for the sake of it, for the time being, but they said the second half wasn't expected. Oh, Mafia. All right, got you. Third beat. Let's go.
This is Ryini Beats.
Okay. Rufa wants to know, what do you use for your guitars? Guitar rig, amplitude, bias? I don't know what any of this stuff is.
Yeah, so I just use, this is probably the guitar I recorded it with. I usually go just cable. I go direct in and just use the plugins. Sometimes I use the amplifier, but that's basically it.
There you go. Rufo loves a country beat, so if you feel it in your spirit, you guys should collaborate because that would probably go crazy.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, man.
So Rufo, slide in that man's DMs. I'm gonna drop your Instagram in your beat store while this song plays. Let's go.
Heads up, the next one, it's just guitar, so it's actually my most popular. It got like over 4 million views. Remember I told you guys just like the guitar beats, but it's meant for like freestyle, so it has a good freestyle feel. So I don't know if anyone wants to rap out there.
No, you can rap while it plays. I'm sure.
I don't know about Sean. I'm gonna put y'all to sleep with that one.
Man, you need to send some beats to Cal.
Shoot, for sure.
I'm about to DM you right now.
Yeah, let me know. Let's get to work. I'm totally in.
Oh, my little icy heart is melting.
Oh, to you.
This is making me so happy. I love this. All right, fifth beat. I feel like we could play all six. We have time. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I always do that with my beats. But surprisingly, that's my top selling beat. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's a good beat. Someone said campfire vibes, and it almost took me out. I don't know if you guys saw me laughing, but Bufo said this could be in Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, absolutely, it would be great.
Facts. Facts.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right, let's play one more.
Yeah, that'd be hard. So different.
Everything you guys have shown us
Facts.
is good, and I'm so glad that we're getting a collab out of this, and I will literally push for that until the end of time.
For sure.
We are done the sharing portion of the show. I'm linking everybody's Instagrams and stores right there, so you can make sure to go follow, go buy the beats you were interested in, or release them, whatever. Any last words, you guys?
Always past the limit.
Shit, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure being on it. It's a pleasure meeting Tia as well as Sean. Like, first time meeting you guys in person, or at least on cam. So, pleasure.
It's very lovely to talk to both of you guys. Thank you so much for sharing all your gems and your stories today. Wishing you the best of luck and everything. Send us the collab when it's done. Everybody, please make sure to go follow their beat stores and their Instagrams and keep up with what they're doing. Slide in the DMs with your ideas. Sorry, guys, if I get your DMs flooded for any reason. Shout out to everybody in the chat who participated today, as usual. I appreciate all of you. That's the end of the deal. For those of you who are looking to submit beats to be played and playlisted, you can join us on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern for On the List. And that's about it for me today. So make sure you guys stay washing your hands, sanitize, all that fun stuff. Working hard. Thank you again to NoLimitShawn Ryini.
Thank y'all for having me.
See
See you guys.